The two kings of hip-hop and love, Kirk Frost and Mandy Harris, are being banned from reality TV, and I promise you won't believe the shocking reason why. What could possibly bring down these reality TV royalty figures? Was it a wild scandal, a mistake that ended their careers, or something darker and even more explosive than what we've seen? Hold on to your seats, people, because we're going to see a scandal that's hotter than anything reality TV has ever seen. After years of being at the center of love and hip-hop's most memorable moments, from cheating rumors to family feuds, Kirk and Mendes are now the biggest outcasts in reality TV history. But why would a show that built its empire off of their drama suddenly turn its back on them? What happened behind the scenes that led to their shocking downfall? I'll never forget this. We've been led to believe that sources are spilling tea that is so hot it's almost too much to handle. You'll never look at Kirk and Mendes the same way again because this scandal is more serious, darker, and scandalous than you could ever imagine. You believe that they would be immune to any scandal that came their way, but you're mistaken. After years of being at the center of hip-hop drama and love, these two are suddenly facing the biggest crisis of their careers, and everything is about to fall apart in front of their eyes. But how did it happen? How did two of reality TV's most? Let's break it down. Kirk Frost, the once favorite and adored bad boy turned family man, has been a major player in Atlanta's love and hip-hop scene since day one. He has had his share of scandals, including affairs, cheating rumors, and even a baby mama story that shook the entire show. However, despite all of the drama, Kirk always found a way to return to the spotlight and draw attention from fans with his unpredictable behavior. Mendes Harris, the man who made prison time appeared to be merely a stepping stone in his career. He'd established his reputation not only as a hip-hop and love icon, but also as a heartthrob with a story of redemption that kept fans riveted to their screens. His family drama, his marriage to Yandy Smith, and the legal battles he faced became mainstays of the show, always keeping the audience on the edge of their seats. For years, their names were synonymous with drama, but things took a significant turn. The producers, who are constantly looking for drama to keep the show going, saw the tension and saw an opportunity, but they were unprepared for the explosion that followed. The show is revealing that it all began with whispers behind the scenes. Kirk and Mendes' relationship, which had been strained for a while, had finally reached a boiling point. It all came to a head at a love and hip-hop after-party that wasn't supposed to be anything more than a brief window before the official reunion show. But behind closed doors, there were rumors of trash talk behind the scenes, with Mendes allegedly saying that Kirk was a washed-up husband who only remained relevant because of Rasheeda's success. Didn't sit well with Kirk, who had spent years building his own legacy and wasn't about to let someone like Mendes disrespected. The drama didn't just stay between Kirk and Mendes. It escalated into a full-blown altercation that would ultimately result in a shocking fallout. According to reports, the altercation began with a few expletives, but as tensions increased, so did the aggression. Kirk, the proud veteran of the love and hip-hop franchise, was being insulted, accused of not adding anything new to the show, and even accused of trying to make up fake beefs to stay relevant. To make matters worse, Mendes had been outspoken about how Kirk's previous drama was holding the show back, and for someone like Kirk, this was the ultimate. What Kirk did was confront Mendes alone behind the scenes. The stage was set for an explosive showdown that no one could have predicted. When they met backstage, things quickly escalated. This was from a man who had just gotten out of prison, a man who was barely relevant before Yandy picked him up. Kirk had the audacity to say, "I'm holding the show back." Respective roles in it quickly became personal. "Perhaps you should fix what's broken?" Kirk's haughtiness was evident in every word, and this was the last straw for Kirk. His jaw clenched, his face twisted in rage, and the altercation quickly became physical in front of the producers, crew, and a few other cast members. Kirk, who was known for his fiery personality, shoved Mendes so hard that he staggered back into a chair, and then the punches started. It was chaos. Security rushed in to try to break up the fight, But it was too late. The damage was done both professionally and physically. What was supposed to be a quiet after-party turned into the year's biggest spectacle, and naturally, someone had taken out their phone. As soon as the fight started, it was all caught on camera, ready to be posted to the internet for everyone to see. Within minutes, videos of the fight went viral on social media, leaving fans stunned because it was unusual. Fans swiftly took sides, with some supporting Kirk and arguing that Mandis had no right to disparage a love and hip-hop pioneer, while others sided with Mendes and accused Kirk of being the aggressor. However, it was evident that no one was ready for the fallout that would ensue, and that's where things took a dark turn. If that's the case, Kirk may face legal action in addition to the possibility of losing his marriage. If Rasheeda decides to freeze their joint assets then, the fact that Rasheeda hasn't filed for divorce yet means that Kirk is likely already working to patch things up behind the scenes. But is it too late? Has Kirk finally crossed the line that Rasheeda can't forgive? Oh, this story is far from over, and trust me, the fallout from this is going to hit harder than Kirk's last apology tour. Oh, you thought that was bad? No, baby, we're just getting started because after that messy scene at the event, the situation for Kirk Frost went from bad to downright disastrous. And let me tell you that the fallout is coming fast and hard because Rasheeda isn't playing games anymore. Now, let me pick up where we left off because when the video of Kirk confronting Rasheeda went viral online, fans were dragging Kirk everywhere. However, the real question was what happened after the camera stopped rolling. Did Kirk attempt to make things right? Did Rasheeda eventually pack her bags and leave? And most often, here's what we currently know. After Rasheeda left the event looking composed but obviously angry, Kirk allegedly attempted to follow her. According to witnesses, Kirk was seen chasing after Rasheeda in the parking lot, calling her name and attempting to tape her arm, but Rasheeda, oh sis, wouldn't have it. She allegedly got into a black SUV and drove away without saying a word. And Kirk, oh, was left standing there looking like a fool. However, this is the juicy part. One insider claims that Kirk was overheard saying, "She's overreacting. I didn't even do anything that bad." Oh really? Kirk didn't do anything that bad. You were caught on camera backing Rasheeda into a corner. Kirk didn't go home that night, according to sources close to the couple. He ended up at Frost Bistro. Yes, the restaurant that he and Rasheeda owned together, and he was visibly drinking heavily at the bar. Staff members reportedly tried to calm him down, but Kirk was on one. When she attempted to leave, he pointed in her face and grabbed her arm, but it got worse because Kirk allegedly began making some calls that evening. Who is he calling? Oh, it's his longtime side chick. Yes, that side chick. According to sources, Kirk was seen texting and calling an unidentified woman, and less than an hour later, that same woman was spotted arriving at Frost Bistro. And here's the part that will make you scream. The mystery woman is reportedly Jasmine Washington. Yes, Jasmine. A love child back in 2017, the same woman who essentially turned Kirk and Rasheeda's marriage into a public circus. And now Jasmine is back in the picture. According to several witnesses, Jasmine entered Frost Bistro, sat down at the bar next to Kirk, and the two of them were seen conversing intently for more than an hour. One witness even claims that Jasmine was nuzzling Kirk's shoulder and whispering in his ear, and Kirk, oh, he was laughing as if he had no care in the world. Yes, someone tipped off the press, and they arrived outside Frost Bistro just in time to see Kirk and Jasmine walking out together. The pictures are terrible. We're talking about Kirk putting his arm around Jasmine and guiding her to his car, and Jasmine grinning like she just won the lottery. Your wife at a public event. Would you really be hanging out with your side chick hours later because Kirk, oh, he's acting like a man who isn't concerned about the consequences. Photos were all over the place, and the headlines said that Savage Kirk Frost was already moving on after being spotted with baby mama Jasmine following the alleged attack on Rasheeda. Rasheeda, saw those photos, but this is where things get really messy because insiders close to her are now saying that she has been meeting with a well-known divorce lawyer. Yes, divorce. It seems like Rasheeda is finally ready to pull the trigger, and Kirk should be afraid because if you know anything about the Frost financial situation, you know that Kirk and Rasheeda's empire is essentially tied together. Frost Bistro co-owned Press Boutique, co-owned multiple real estate investments, co-owned. Rasheeda, oh sis, has receipts, claiming to have been surreptitiously collecting proof of Kirk's financial misdeeds for years. We're talking about credit card charges at upscale hotels, wire transfers to unidentified accounts, and even payments to Jasmine and a few other unidentified women. And now that Kirk's most recent scandal has surfaced, Rasheeda is allegedly in a position to take him down. But wait, it gets even juicier. According to sources, Kirk is now in full damage control mode, bombarding Rasheeda's phone with texts and calls, even showing up at her store without warning and pleading with her to talk, but Rasheeda is reportedly not responding. In fact, sources say that Rasheeda has blocked Kirk on all social media platforms, including Instagram, Twitter, and WhatsApp. He's worried because, guess what? Jasmine has started talking. According to reports, Jasmine gave an exclusive interview to a major gossip website, and in it she said, "Oh, they're about to blow up Kirk's entire situation." Jasmine also hinted that Kirk had promised to provide for her financially and that their relationship had been going on for years, even after Kirk publicly claimed he was trying to mend things with Rasheeda. Jasmine and her son have been receiving money from his joint accounts with Rasheeda, and the worst part is that Jasmine allegedly hinted that Kirk might have other side chicks that Rasheeda is unaware of. Meanwhile, Rasheeda has been keeping it on social media, posting some very cryptic Instagram stories, one of which has a black screen with the words, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them." Kirk, on the other hand, was thinking. According to reports, he told a friend, "I built my name, and I'm not going to let them erase me from reality TV history." However, as the days passed, it became increasingly clear that the battle for Kirk and Mendes wasn't going to be as simple as they had hoped. He wasn't just worried about his career on Love and Hip Hop, he was about his entire brand. He had built an empire, and he wasn't going to let it all fall apart because of one mistake. If they think I'm just going to disappear, they're in for another thing. Their once thriving careers in reality TV were on the verge of collapse, according to multiple sources, and no network wanted to take a chance on Kirk and Mendes. The fight had caused too much damage, and now both men's reputations were in ruins. A major producer reportedly told us, "This isn't just about a fight anymore. It's about trust. If Kirk and Mendes can't control their tempers, how?" The idea that they might never again be on reality TV turned into a bitter reality. What had seemed impossible was now all too real. Their empire was collapsing, and the networks weren't willing to take the chance. Then came the news that would change everything. The rumors that they were blacklisted were true, according to a source close to several networks. "We're not touching them. They're too much of a liability. They've made too many enemies," an insider close to several networks confirmed. As the days turned into weeks, the harsh reality set in for both Kirk Frost and Mendes. What was once an industry built on their names and drama was now slipping away. Their influence was waning, and the blacklisting rumors had not only been confirmed, but their personal and professional lives were also in danger. And the last thing we need is another public relations disaster. What will happen to Kirk and Mendes next? Will they find a way to recover from this? Will they launch their platform? Professional lives were on the line, but here's the thing. These two men worked hard to earn their reputations in the competitive world of reality TV. Sadly, this was only the beginning of a new chapter in their story, and you can bet that neither Kirk nor Mendes was going down without a fight. Kirk, who was frustrated and felt abandoned, wasted no time trying to save his career because he had made a name for himself over the years on Hip Hop and Love, and to have it all taken away in a single moment. "I'm not going out like this," Kirk reportedly told his closest friends, "because I've made my mark on this industry, and I won't let some mistake erase everything I've worked for. I'm going to make sure people know the truth, and they'll respect me again if I have to fight for it." What was the next step for him? Well, it was obvious that Kirk Frost was going to control his narrative. He promptly contacted his lawyer and demanded that they sue for wrongful death. Termination isn't just about the fight, Kirk allegedly stated. This is about legacy and about respect. They used me for years, and now they want to erase me. Nah, that's not happening. And it didn't stop there. Kirk was determined to expose the inner workings of love and hip-hop. I built the show. Without me, there is no show, he declared. He knew the power of media and public perception, and he wasn't going to let this setback go unnoticed. While Mendes was battling his demons, being fired from the show was one thing, but Mendes was not one to give up, but he understood the business and knew how to fight for what was rightfully his. So, like Kirk, he began to push back. However, Mendes' strategy was different. Rather than battling through a legal battle, he launched a campaign on social media to show his fans that he wasn't going down without a fight. Being blacklisted from the entire reality TV industry was something else entirely. For someone who had built his brand on television and public persona, the prospect of losing his job was devastating. Mendes shared his side of the story during an emotional Instagram live session with tears in his eyes. "I've been through a lot," he said, his voice breaking. "I've been away from my family. I've fought battles no one even knows about, and now this happens. But I'm standing tall. I'm not going to let this defeat me. I won't let anyone disrespect me. Not on camera and not off camera." Of course, Yandy was by his side during every battle, supporting him through every hardship I've witnessed him go through. Then, during a live session, Yandy told their followers, "And we always come out on top. We'll make sure of it." However, despite his assurance, Mendes was shaken. His life had been built on this industry, so without the cameras and the drama, who was left for him? One evening, while sitting with Yandandy, the weight of it all hit him. "I don't know if we'll bounce back from this," he said softly. Yandandy, the strategist, wasn't one to mope. "We're going to make it work. We're not relying on anyone else. We don't need VH1. We'll make our own show," she declared confidently, looking toward a future where they would take control of their own destiny. She assured him that they were always focused on the future, saying, "We've got our brand. We've got our fans. We'll find another way." It was evident that Yandandy had already started planning their next move, even though she knew that the road ahead wouldn't be easy. Yandy remained hopeful, although Mendes and Kirk's reality was taking hold. The entertainment industry had abandoned them. No network wanted to get involved, not after the fight or the drama, and definitely not after the backlash from fans and sponsors. Their emails and phone calls were ignored, and they were effectively shut out of the industry. However, just when they thought things couldn't get any worse, rumors began to circulate, with more and more sources claiming that Kirk and Mendes weren't simply blacklisted. "That's it," Mendes reportedly muttered to Yandy one night. "I'm done. No more TV. I guess this is how it ends." However, Yandy wasn't having it. She knew better and refused to accept defeat. "No," she told him firmly, "this isn't the end. We'll create our own opportunities. We'll make our own show. If they don't want us on their platforms, we'll take it elsewhere." They were completely banned from love and hip-hop and reality TV. While Mendes and Yandandy were planning their comeback, the public was ablaze with opinions. Some claimed that Kirk and Mendes were to blame, while others were shocked by how quickly the industry had abandoned them. One social media user wrote, "Kirk and Mendes made love and hip-hop what it is today. They're being thrown away like trash. I can't believe it." Another user added to the growing division by posting, "They can't be shocked you can't put your hands on someone and expect no consequences." What had begun as a heated argument had escalated into a full-fledged PR crisis, with the damage done and the stain on Kirk and Mendes' careers appearing irreparable. However, as usual, the two men weren't done fighting for their place in the spotlight. They both knew they would have to reinvent themselves. Stay tuned as we follow the story of Kirk and Mendes, the two reality stars who refused to go down without a fight. What do you think will happen to Kirk and Mendes? They were brands, and even though the love and hip-hop chapters of their lives seemed to be over, they weren't about to let the world forget who they were. Despite the industry's refusal to give them another chance and the mounting pressure, Kirk and Mendes were planning their next move, and as Yandy said, the world hasn't seen the last of them. Folks, here is the shocking story of Kirk Frost and Mendes, two of the most iconic figures in reality TV who are now blacklisted and fighting for their place in the entertainment industry. Do you think that independent shows succeed, or that is really the end of their reality TV careers? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more updates on this unfolding drama. I promise you won't want to miss what happens next. We would like to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. Which team are you on? Team Kirk or Team Mendes? Or perhaps you believe both of them went too far? If you want to keep up with every stunning turn in this ongoing drama, make sure to hit the like button. The question still stands, will they recover? Or has this public fallout truly marked the end of their careers? Do you think they were unfairly punished, or did they take things too far? Will their upcoming independent projects win back their fans? Or is the reality TV chapter closed for good? This tale is far from done, and there's more to come that you won't want to miss. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned, because you know we're always keeping you updated. Subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so you never miss a breaking update with the most wonderful and juicy tales out there.